I wrote My Life Is in Your Hands. It was actually back in 2008, a long time ago. And I was going through a time in my life where everything was just a struggle. Everything was wrong. I had health things going on, just emotional things going on, a lot of stuff that there was nothing I could do, absolutely nothing I could do about any of it. And just felt very frustrated and down and like there was no way out, just trapped. And my husband and I went jet skiing one day, and which I love. I'm a speed freak. And I was on the back of the jet ski and I was just thinking about everything that was going on, and just tears started coming to my eyes, and I just let myself cry because I had held it in. I always put on a happy face, but I let it go that day because I was like, my husband's in front of me, he can't see me, I'm just holding on. And I was like, but God can see me, he can see my tears. And then the wind, it was like the wind from the jet ski was wiping my tears away, and it was like God was wiping my tears away and saying, I see your tears and I'll wipe them away. And then I just looked up at the sky. It was a beautiful day, kind of like today. And I looked up at the sky, and it was just like, I trust in you because you're faithful. There was nothing I could do, but he could. And I knew that deep down. I just pulled that from my spirit. And I was like, I trust in you as you're able. And then the next lines just started flowing out of me to hold me and keep me all the days of my life. And that calmed me, gave me peace, and just the whole song just kind of started coming to me. By the time we got back to shore, I grabbed a napkin because that was before the iPhone days, and I wrote down all the lyrics and enough of the melody that I could remember what it sounded like, and that's how the song started. The very first time anything was done with the song, I showed it to my really good friend Lily, who's an amazing singer. We got the chance to do it at something called the Day of Hope, which was a homeless shelter, and the people out there were weeping when they heard it. And I just knew the song had something special about it, and it wasn't me. It came from my heart, and that's what I love to do with all of my songs. They come from my heart. And when I saw people weeping over this song, I knew it had to keep going.
When Jackie approached me about My Life Is in Your Hands, her and I have been working on our first book. At that time, it was going to be called Created to Worship, and we were trying to decide what we want to do with the book. And Jackie, at that time, she was having some health issues, and so we talk all the time. And she shared the story about how the song inspired her. She talked about, being on the water and, hearing the bouncing, and the song just dropped in her spirit. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. It made me giggle when she talked about coming up with a song that was so calm and soothing while on a jet ski. That was interesting. So I was really interested to see where that song was going to go. I was like, is it going to be like this? But no.
So I first heard this song probably end of 2018, early 2019. I had just moved back from Maryland. I was actually a worship leader, full-time at a church. It's what my career was. It's what my identity was. That's what I had known ever since I graduated college in 2016. So I had moved back, and I just recently started leading worship after taking a break. Moved to Tallahassee. Didn't really know what the next step was for me, what my career was going to be. I always thought it was going to be involved in leading worship in some church somewhere, but God has other plans, and God has interesting ways of getting us in places where He wants us to be.
So I read the lyrics, and it was really personal, and it reminded me of my personal relationship with God, and how much I trust in Him for everything.
So I moved back to Tallahassee in 2018 and met my friend Jackie. When I had come in and out of singing at Celebration, we were at Celebration in Tallahassee. I had come in and out, and we have sang together occasionally. She had been like, oh, here's a few of my songs, and I liked them, but we never really got to connect on much of more of a surface level of friends. So I moved back, and she was like, oh, I write songs. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That'd be cool to sing and record one day. I'm totally okay with that. Because at that point in my life, the only time I got to record was in the studio in college. So it had been a few years since I had done that.
And so in the beginning of 2019, I had sent him a few of my songs, and My Life Is in Your Hands was one of them. And he texted me one Tuesday night. I'll never forget. He's like, I love My Life Is in Your Hands. If you ever do a guy version, I want to record it. I said, well, let's do it.
So, long story short, I went over to Jacki's house and we got to hear her music, and we also had a love of gospel music. If you know me, you know I love gospel. There's nothing better than harmonies and organs and all the things. So I go over to Jacki's house, and our friendship starts developing, and she starts to share more of her music, more of her testimony with me. And we get to this song, and I can't even, talking about it right now is so emotional to me. Because I was at a place in my life where all I had was hope, was God, and all I had at that time was His trust in Him. So she played me this song, and it's a song that when you hear it, it just hits every emotion in your body. The song, just from the intro to the middle of the song to the end of the song, it's so emotional because that's something I feel like everybody can relate to. And at the time that I heard it, it was a time in my life where I didn't really know what the next step was for me. I didn't know what my journey looked like. I had pictured it one way, and I thought it was going to be one way my entire life. And then you get to a place where it's like, wow, that's not what you thought it would be. It's not how you thought it would end up. And what I love about this song is it talks about God is holding you in His hands. Your life is in His hands. The palm of His hands is one of the lines in the song. Our friend Lily, who Jacki, I'm sure, mentioned, sang the song, and I never felt that I sang it as good as her. She's an amazing singer, and I always was like, oh, I like the song, but I don't know if I like me doing it. We did this whole video, everything. And of course I tell Jacki that, and she just rolls her eyes. Typical of our relationship.
But the words really spoke to me about how He's always there. He's always there to listen. He's a father. And fast forward, I mean, this was back in 2008, you know, and fast forward now, being able to sing it again, and this time as a duet, singing it with Jonathan, who is an amazing young singer, and his voice, our voices blend so nicely together, and I was really excited that I get to sing it as a duet. And again, the words of the song rang true. Like even today, it's like, you know, we can always cry out to God, and we can always put our trust in Him. He's always going to be there, and our lives are literally in His hands.
The musical notes, I guess you could say, kind of finally fell into place and locked into place, and all the right people locked into place. And this song now, I feel like, is going to touch people even more than it would have in 2008, in 2018, 2019, when we did it the first time, to now. I feel like God has given me a bigger platform on which I can share this song in a place, and it brought me to a place where I never thought He would bring me again.
When I was preparing for my twins, boy and a girl, to be born, and I had to spend a very long time in the hospital until they were born, and this was during COVID, and it was an unknown situation. So I found myself in this place of seclusion, because every day I was meditating and I was having my own communion with God, and I was being reminded that I'm secure. When I sung the song again, or we were preparing for the music video, it reminded me of that time, you know, during COVID. He was always there. I knew that my children, their lives was in His hands, and all I had to do was cry out to Him. All I had to do is talk to Him, and He reminded me that I don't have anything to worry about.
And so this song is just, it's something special. It's been a lot of years, I know, for Jacki in the works, but it's also kind of been a journey for me to kind of see the song from where it first began to when I came to be a part of it to kind of where it is now.
And the harmony that Jonathan and I, when we sing together, gets so locked in. It's really an awesome testimony to just how you could start off like 100 years before, write this song, get this melody, and then 100 years later, do it as a duet and bring in all these the music and everything, and how well it has flowed. And now we have a music video to go with it, and I think it's gonna really continue to touch lives when anyone hears this song, because it could be anybody's testimony. No matter what happens, if we always turn to our Creator and know that our lives are in His hands and we have nothing to worry about.
I would like people to take this song and make it personal, like really just think about what might be going on in their lives, in the world. I feel like the song is very appropriate for this day and age where there's so much chaos and people don't know what's going to happen from day to day. And just knowing that your life is in God's hands, that's something I think everybody can cling to. And the song has the lyrics, I cling to you. And I think if we just take that and just trust in God, cling to Him, and just take the message of the song and make it their own. That's what I want people to do with it.
And so this song, whenever you listen to it, there might be a time that you had made it through and you think back to it like, wow, He really had me, He really had my back. And so I hope this song blesses you the way it has blessed me. From 2008 to now, it is a treasure. And so enjoy. My life is in your hands.